Shi'ar sympathizers. It's time to dust off your starter jackets, rip off those tearaways, and blow into your game cartridges. I'm Sam Blanford.
I'm Pat Sellers.
I'm Sean Kelly, and we wish it was the 90s. I gotta say, lads, things going pretty well for the podcast. You know you've cracked podcasting when you post an episode and get attacked by bots asking you to go to their page and for a shout out.
Yeah, I reckon we take the tack of like pretending we don't know their bots and like trying to have conversations with them and shit. You just think we're morons.
Well, you know,
Which we
you know
are,
what those
but...
bots would be good for? Wolverine's claws.
Oh, yeah, you gotta look out. They're the only things we're allowed to attack.
Yeah. All right, dear listeners.
Plenty of claws in these episodes.
Yeah, I've definitely got the what's it called? The mutant plague.
Spicy cough.
Yeah, spicy cough. No random metal bits on my arms yet, but hopefully I can pull it together without coughing my way through. It's hard to mute regularly when you're the Grant Nisbet of the podcast. So we've got Out of the Past 1 and 2, and then we've just got 5 Phoenix Saga episodes. And let's dive straight into Out of the Past, eh?
Yeah.
Go for it.
I thought pretty good episodes, eh? I quite enjoyed them myself. What do you guys think?
I really like that we get another cold opening with Leech, our old mate from the sewers.
It's definitely my first note. Did you enjoy these two, Sam?
Yeah, these were two of my favourite from the 7 that we watched. It's got a lot of Meg in them, so I was pretty happy. And old Mar Higgins makes an appearance at the start.
Morlocks, Reavers. They're like those are all like my favourite sort of groups now, eh? I don't think I liked them when I was a kid. But
I didn't even know who they were, eh?
I remember like watching them on this TV show and being like, oh, they're like in the sewers again with those yuck ones.
Yeah, I always hated the Morlocks when I was a kid. And on the X-Men Legends PlayStation 2 game, hated the Morlocks levels.
Yeah. I want more
But
of them.
yeah, let's dive in then. So Leech is getting chased by weird army people, including some sort of tank man. You guys see the tank man?
Yeah, bizarre.
He was great.
Yeah. Yep. And then we get the reveal of Lady Deathstrike, and I've written a question here. Is this the Reavers? And for your context, Sam, the Reavers are a bunch of people who augment their body with robotic parts to improve themselves for combat.
I'm glad you said that because Pat's mentioned Reavers before and I had no idea what he was talking about.
And then it cuts to Gambit and Meg playing basketball, which I've got a lot of time for.
Go for the hoop,
That
Gumbo.
was awesome. A little bit of White Man Can't Jump type vibes as well, keeping it in the 90s. Yeah.
Definitely a trope of X-Men comics. Whenever there's downtime, they're usually playing sport. Historically, it was always baseball or softball, but in the 90s, they really ramped up their basketball playing.
Beast loves his baseball. Remember those photos from when he was a teen? That bat over his shoulder?
It's mint. And they get a phone call on the basketball court phone. Who, I don't know who says it. Man, is it Logan? Is it Meg?
Man, we got to talk to Storm about who we give our number to.
Call from the Morlocks, and it's Leech has a message for Logan from Mariko. And then it appears as though the Reavers have killed Leech, but he's just trapped.
Sorry, just to go back. In that when they're playing basketball with their tops off, Gambit is jacked. Like,
Absolutely.
he's
man.
just as jacked as Wolverine. But if you look at him with his, do you call them civvies, Sean?
Yes.
Yeah,
Civvies.
when he's got his civvies on, he looks quite like tall and slender.
They're quite lean, eh?
I was like, he is jacked. This is something going on here.
He's like a
It's
sneaky
worth pointing
jack
out.
Yeah.
Flanders.
Yes, Flanders them.
Feels like I'm wearing
Flanders
nothing at all.
Stupid sexy Gambit.
It's worth pointing out because they are both really shiny, especially Gambit's really shiny in the basketball. Seems to be a bit of a change in the animation this season, and I noticed it especially in these first couple of episodes. You notice it heaps when they go into the tunnels. Gambit's costumes changing colour all the time. His pants are blue sometimes, and they do just look a lot shinier. But anyway, so Logan gets the message, or sorry, Meg gets the message from Leech from Mariko, and Gambit says, "This whole thing stink. Why Leech call instead of Callisto? Gambit's nose say it a trap."
She's trying to use smell powers now. He's seen how powerful.
And then Meg takes off and tells no one to come because it's personal, and everything personal with that one.
Yeah, that was good.
And then I don't even remember what Jubilee's saying, but I've just written down Gambit's yawn response to Jubilee is how I feel whenever she speaks.
That's harsh. She's a kid.
You'd take her out of the. They could take her out, and they would lose nothing.
Yeah, she shouldn't be allowed on missions either. Anyway, so Wolvie's off to the sewers, and Gambit and Jubilee follow, and the Gambit's costume's looking bluer and bluer with every turn. And they go, which way do you go? And there's a cut up little entranceway into the sewers. Wolverine leave his calling card, huh? And then we get a Wolverine and Yuriko flashback.
These are good. I really enjoyed the flashbacks.
Yeah, you get Maverick in there, his old Weapon X partner or whatever. Maybe pre-Weapon X, and we get some smelling powers, and we get some lazy blasters, and then we get Wolverine captured and turned into Weapon X. Maybe some stuff recycled from the Repo Man episode.
Yeah, and a little bit skipped over was the "I'll come back for you," and immediately you think, yeah, he didn't go back for it, did he?
Yeah.
It's a poor animation job. That they are obviously trying to make a Mariko look Asian, and they've just made her face jaundice.
Did I call her Yuriko just before?
No, I
it's in my notes.
What's her name? I've got
her name is Mariko. It's Mariko, but I've written
Spidey Fingers.
Yeah, I've definitely. Yuriko is another character. There's an Aussie Reaver whose Aussie accent is infinitely better than Pyro's. And I was going to ask you, Pat, do you reckon is that guy Donald Pierce from the movie?
I don't know. Do you reckon we're going to switch it up and call him English like we did with Pyro, who had the English accent but tried to be Australian?
The English Reaver.
Yeah. I don't know, but I do appreciate they've gone for a couple of Aussie accents. There was a guy in, is it Sinister's crew that was also Aussie? And it just made me think, I wonder if there's actually an Aussie in the voice casting team.
Maybe.
Throwing them in.
If there is, he certainly butchered his Pyro accent.
No, they've definitely got a Cockney English man in there too.
Yeah, they just keep making him do Australian accents.
Yeah, maybe the Aussie guy came on season 2, and the guy who's doing Pyro is like putting his foot down. I'm Pyro. I've nailed it. Right. Oh, damn it. Yeah, I've definitely got Yuriko and Mariko mixed up heaps here, so forgive me. Yeah. So anyway, turns out...
flashback with the cool helmet.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
Yep. So we get all that, and then we cut back to the sewers and cyborgs. That's good news because they're good for slicing. Meg says, "Ha! They're a bunch of tin cans.
Yeah.
Why don't you give your circuits a break?" And then we find out that Deathstrike is Mariko, and she got cyborged so she could get revenge on Meg.
They're lair. You call it a lair?
Lair.
Lair. It's like it's quite flesh, but they kind of look like they were like constructed out of used parts and stuff. They're like dumpster cyborgs or trash yard cyborgs. But I was quite surprised that they had such a flesh fit out when they made her big phalanges.
what is that? I can't even process the phalanges. Sorry. So we find out she was the daughter of one of the Weapon X scientists, and then Gambit's pants change color again, and everyone's looking really shiny in the sewers. Gambit and Jubes jump in to help, and the theme song is still awesome. And then they cast all these random nets to catch everyone, but they obviously don't work on Gambit because he can just blow them up. But then Gambit and Jubes do get taken down.
Since when do we start calling her Jubes? She doesn't deserve a nickname.
I
Deserves one. We
apologize.
just haven't found it yet. It'll have like nothing to do with their character either. It'll be something weird.
It's sparkly powers.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sparkles.
Sparkles. So Deathstrike hits the ship, and then for some reason that's how Professor understands the message. Don't open the ship. And then Meg opens the ship. We get a nice little to be continued. Straight into it.
Also, just one thing that I did really like was because I always like it when they use their powers for like normal everyday stuff. I realized that Gambit could use his powers as like a torch in the dark in the tunnels.
Oh yeah, that was cool. That was cool.
I enjoyed that.
He can obviously like stop it from blowing up.
Yeah. Yeah, so he can just charge it and leave it steady at that whatever energy level. I don't think his powers make sense, but anyway.
Not like Bart's neighbour's dead husband who held a grenade too long.
Oh, geez.
This one's for you. Right, so the Aussie Reaver. All right, boys, let's give ET a welcome.
I have that noted down as well. It was good.
And all sorts of that. So it's like a weird energy alien thing. Jubilee jumps in front of Gambit morph style.
Are we in the second episode here, sorry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Did I miss stuff?
Definitely not. No, I was just figuring out where we were at because
sorry, mate.
Meg is because does Jubilee get taken or something?
She does. She gets the
gets
alien treatment. She gets the alien treatment shortly.
That's right.
So yeah, she maybe when she jumps in front of Gambit to save him, it's obviously living up to Morph's legacy. Yeah. So anyone who's touched by the alien gets green glowing eyes and some sort of coma. Then it cuts to Beast in a suit at an art gallery harassing some woman.
Yeah, he's definitely blending in without his trench coat and Tom Landry hat.
He gets a little Prof X mind probe.
So we missed someone caring about Jubilee, which I didn't think any of the X-Men did, where Meg's like, no, Jubilee!
Maybe it's because she did a morph, and morph is the only guy Meg likes. He saw a little bit of morph in her. He's like, she's okay.
I've got a whole line of just Jubilee.
Handwritten notes for the listeners. Like we can see them. Right, so the energy monster gets the Morlocks. Meg's obviously gutted about Jubilee. Deathstrike says, worry about your whelp later. And then Jubilee talks to them via the energy alien somehow, asking for help. Then it cuts to Scott and Jean on a date. And I know that everyone on this podcast thinks that that's awesome. And the professor can fuck off from ruining their date.
Not me.
Fucking one eye.
You guys can fuck off.
I put fuck off one eye. Take your time getting those doggy bags.
He's about to be a real dick soon too.
I love it when the guy comes out and he's like, sorry to do this to you, Sydney, but we're going to have to get these to go. Again. The Reavers talk to Deathstrike like Jubilee did through the alien ghost thing, whatever's going on there. Meg sends Gambit off to save Jubes. And then Meg and Deathstrike go to take on the alien with adamantium power. Slicing lots of tentacles. Surely someone wants...
Have the rocks fallen down from the ceiling yet?
I don't know.
No.
But there's my next line is a quote that you want to give, Sam, surely.
I might have missed it.
Come on, you piece of alien gutter trash. Just try to suck me in.
I missed that as well.
Gag.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
I might have missed what you were saying because I was trying to read back through my notes to see where we were. Has Scott and Jean shown up in the tunnels yet?
Yeah. That's done. Yeah. Oh, not in the tunnels yet. No. You guys missed the best part though. So obviously, alien gutter trash is vintage Meg, but then when he says, "Just try to suck me in," I hope you gag.
Oh, Christ.
Meg's on fire.
Yeah, he has a couple of really borderline ones on this. At some point, he says, "You want to absorb something? Suck on this."
Oh, I've definitely got that written down.
That's two from Meg. He's pushing it.
So the X-Men turn up. Logan, what's going on? An old friend. She wants me dead. Cyclops. Why am I not surprised?
Dick. What a dick. No context.
Shut up.
Mind you, Meg is trying to put away his missus.
Yeah. Throughout this whole episode, Beast seems very excited to see a spaceship. I note here that Professor X's floaty chair has headlights.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
When they're in the tunnel, he turns the lights on.
Oh, that's real good.
Yeah. It wasn't in the original patent.
This must be 2.0.
That's where he's getting all his money.
Professor X and Beast investigate the spacecraft. Professor just starts pushing buttons like he knows what he's doing. And then he sends a message to the others. Spirit Drinker is a prison ship. There's a light show on the subway. Great music.
Did you catch Beast's quote there?
What was it? Did he say fascinating 6 times?
He does say that a lot. My kingdom for a Rosetta Stone.
Fascinating.
When I heard that, because isn't Richard III studied it at school? He says, "My kingdom for a horse."
Yes.
But the Rosetta Stone, isn't that like it's like a stone that helps you understand hieroglyphics? So I thought that was like a really very thoughtful quote that the
the thing I love about Beast is he's a scientist
now.
But he's also a great lover of literacy, you know. Quite often when he does this, he doesn't with Shakespeare, but quite often when he quotes, he also quotes who he's quoting.
Jane Dickinson later, or Jane something or other. Can't remember.
Yeah.
Emily Dickinson, maybe.
Yeah, it sounds familiar. Then we get the "you want to absorb something, suck on this" from Meg. And somehow Gambit's staff frees everyone? ? And it's over, oddly. Deathstrike, still holding a grudge, walks off to a loud gong noise. And then Professor calls Jubilee a child and has visions of aliens. And then it says, "Coming soon, the Phoenix Saga." Any thoughts on those 2 episodes, lads?
My last note was, this is confusing as fuck. But great setup regardless. I'm excited, but just don't know what I'm excited about.
For the Phoenix Saga?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Pretty lost.
Fair.
Lost throughout the entire Phoenix Saga too, but
I was very confused about how they defeated that enemy.
Yes, saying that's... So I'd literally somehow Gambit staff freeze everyone. Is that what happens?
Yeah, well, there was something about adamantium being able to slice its little tentacles away. But so was Gambit's staff made out of adamantium in this as well?
Would have no idea. I mean, it
Yeah.
does retract in and out like the claws, so there's that factor to it.
I also put that enemy sucked. Bring back Apocalypse.
Yeah, that enemy did suck.
Like all the enemies or bad people or antagonists so far in all of the seasons and episodes have been fantastic. Like,
Yeah.
why have one that doesn't say anything? You know, like
That's just
absolutely
it was
no
weird. It was weird. That part's like weird filler, but then the rest of what's going on aside from the villain in these two episodes is great.
Yeah, well, it had lots of Meg. I also had it was a nice Calabri font when it came up with the Phoenix Saga. It was just like this stock standard, like almost like Times New Roman font of the Phoenix Saga.
You'll find Calibri was brand new at this point. Most people were still using Times New Roman, or maybe fancy people were using Arial. Arial? I don't know how to say that one.
Which is more Comic Sans.
Well, speaking of villains, then, what did you think of Deken, Sam?
Oh, we'll come to Deken when we come to Deken.
Okay. Do you want to save your thoughts on the Phoenix Saga until the end?
Yeah, got a big list.
Perfect.
So the Phoenix Saga, and me and Sam discussed this off air a little bit. Definitely not as well regarded as the Dark Phoenix Saga, but I really enjoyed these episodes. So the Phoenix Saga Part 1 starts in space, and there's bugged spaceships, and there's a help me Charles Xavier, and he doesn't know what the voice is, and is it in his mind, and he's having a dream or a vision, and what's going on here? And then we get some classic tractor beams, and then they're coming, and then he wakes everyone up with a all X-Men to the war room. Everyone's in bed and comes in their PJs. Wolverine uses his smelling powers to identify zit cream.
Not everyone comes in their PJs, though.
Oh, mate, how much time do I have for Gambit coming back from a bender? Surely he's not match fit right now.
He'll be super enthusiastic into whatever they're doing, though.
Yeah. I just love that he's in his civvies again.
I had the classic Disney Plus glitch, which we can trash him again because they never came through with that sponsorship. Do you often get like it'll restart in a weird place once you go back to it?
I never stop in the middle of an episode.
That's wise. But I missed from like where they're in their PJs. And I missed how they ended up going wherever they're going. So I might have missed a couple of things here, so I'm interested to see your thoughts.
Fine. It's fine. So
I might Cyclops off soon, so that's good.
Oh yeah, I'll be down for that.
Fuck you guys. So some guy called Dr. Corbo wants to study some sort of solar something or other. Is it Gambit who says, or someone says, breaking into government installations not really our style? And I'm like, yes, it is. That's exactly what you guys do.
He's definitely done that before.
And so the professor's sending him on a mystery mission, and it's all about what's going on. And Meg says, "Oh well, it makes about as much sense as some of the other stuff we do."
Yeah, he goes because Professor X they ask him why, and he's just like, "I wish I could tell you." Like he's got to be the worst leader of any TV show I've ever seen.
Yeah, he's the most annoying bad guy in the show.
And then the bloody Grease, One Eye, just like blindly follows him. Does end up going into his office, and like, why can't you tell us, X? I got no time for either of them, eh?
I quite like that moment when he goes into the office. Like a bit of
a bit before is just awful.
Yeah. A few similarities with our mate.
Sorry, go on.
With Gladiator, who we meet later, following Deken.
Oh, that's good.
What were you saying, Pat?
Did you? I was just thinking of things that you like. You would have been all over when Beast throws Meg over that fence without giving him any warning.
Everyone gets nicely flipped over, and Meg just
Yeah.
gets biffed over the fence.
He's real pissed off about it.
Sorry, Dad.
I thought you would have enjoyed.
Sorry, Dad, which is a real funny mug off of one eye.
Yeah,
I
Scott
was
says,
loving that.
"Come on, stop fooling around." Sorry, Dad. I thought you guys would have really enjoyed when they were in the jet, and it said "Stealth mode initiated."
I missed that. It's good.
And then we get a subdued version of the things. Anyway, so Jubilee's running a decoy, which is actually quite good tactics here to get on. They break in, trigger the alarm.
They sacrifice her.
Yeah, because they think she'll get off lightly.
This episode is called The Sacrifice.
Oh, there you go.
Is it? That's the one I missed.
Yeah, I missed that. Cyclops KOs all the astronauts, and they put on their spacesuits. And Jean uses mind tricks to convince Corbeau that the X-Men are his crew, and they're off to a satellite. And we see a suspicious hand.
They're getting in their spacesuits, and Meg just keeps his Wolverine suit on. Like, he's got the face mask on, and he puts his helmet over the top of it. I was like, oh, that is a stupid idea.
He must be boiling hot in there.
So just go as logo.
Yeah. Beast says fascinating a lot, and then some random gas knocks them all out.
Fascinating.
And then they wake up, and Gambit pulls some cards out of his spacesuit. And we meet Eric the Red from the Shi'ar. And we find out that the Shi'ar Emperor Dekin is pulling the strings against Lilandra. And there's some mind control and some sort of airlock gets removed. And Jean uses telekinesis to save everyone. And I think you start to get the sense here that Jean's doing a lot of the heavy lifting. And I think that's quite deliberate.
Sam, what were your first thoughts on Eric?
I had the red man's gun. It looks very much like a Transformers gun.
I just said Eric the Red. Dumb. He looks real dumb. But then I quite liked him because I just kept, every time he was in there, I just kept thinking of Eric from Billy Madison. Eric is a very bad man.
The thing about Eric the Red is he is shit. But then later he kind of gets called out for it, so that kind of somehow makes up for it.
Yeah, they front foot it. It's like, this guy sucks.
Yeah.
In every way. Yeah. And he sucks in the show.
Yeah.
He gets sacked basically later on.
Yeah. And so Jean's starting to kick ass, and there's a wormhole coming. Eric the Red wants to intercept Lilandra. Cyclops wrecks the space station after telling Meg not to. Thought you guys would like that. Eric the Red is keen for a quiet retreat. Shuttle gets away, and Eric's after the Shi'ar cruiser. Look like they're going to be a barbecue, and we're going to be the main course.
I hate that.
Gambit.
Damn it.
Guys love Gambit. The radiation shuttle thing that's in the shuttle can protect them from outrageous power readings, but someone has to fly the shuttle. And so Jean steals...
Before that, Beast, like, the solar probe, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
He also says fascinating about 10 times in this episode. Fascinating. Jean steals Corbeau's knowledge of how to fly the ship, and then is going to use a psychokinetic shield to protect herself. Cyclops doesn't want her to do it, so she knocks him out. And then to be continued.
All on board, One Eye sacrifice.
Definitely on board with that.
Great.
Fuck you guys.
Jean leaves Meg with a kiss at the end as well.
Jean, don't try to stop me, Logan. I wasn't. Good luck.
Yeah. Meg's real chafed at being in space as well. Like, that looks awesome. everyone and anyone would love to be in that spaceship flying around, seeing aliens and stuff, and he's just angry about it the whole time.
Remember that, Pat. We'll come back to that at the end.
And there we get our to be continued, and there's a big firebird, obviously alluding to the Phoenix. This next episode, The Dark Shroud, is definitely my least favourite. And I remember hating it as a child as well. Anyway, so we get flashes of the Phoenix. Scott, Logan, someone help me. And the Phoenix flames go inside her. She regains control of the ship and it lands in New York Harbor. The X-Men escape the hatch, but there's no Jean. No one can find
as Jean tried to pull off a Sully in the Hudson.
I wrote down Hudson and then realized that's what I was thinking of. And no one can find her, and then a big fiery flaming Phoenix in green comes out. I am Phoenix! And then passes out. Jean's in hospital and doesn't remember anything and feels strange. Some sort of transformation has taken place here. It's good from you, Professor.
Did you catch Beast's mufti?
Oh, yeah. This is outstanding.
What's he wearing?
It's a Howard the Duck t-shirt. So good.
Apparently that's a George Lucas film.
Right.
So Howard the Duck is like in Marvel Comics, but maybe not originally. I'm not sure. But yeah, there's an awful 80s Howard the Duck movie that, let's be honest, that Elizabeth Shue has sex with an alien puppet duck in it, I think.
14%
I don't think you see
on
it.
Rotten Tomatoes.
What?
Yeah.
If only it was a decade later, we could review it for one of the other podcasts.
But we won't, because we're true to our word, and we wish it was only the 90s. Yeah. So I got a lot of time for this argument between Cyclops and Professor X over whose fault it is. Just a couple of average leaders going at it, blaming each other.
Yeah, shake his bloody hover chair, would you, one eye?
Beast leaves to study mind control devices, and Meg is kicking trash cans.
Is Beast hanging from the ceiling at that point?
He flips around a bit. That's on the way out, isn't it?
Yeah, he's like, hey, he hangs from the ceiling and then just gets down and goes off. I was like, well, why can't he just stand there?
There's a bit of weird
and then
stuff from Beast like that. Like, even when they broke into that place to get the spaceship, he lags behind for some reason, then like reels them in by bouncing off the walls. Like, why wasn't he just keeping up to start with?
He's quite often seen in his lab hanging upside down, mixing chemicals upside down. And he says to Logan, perhaps a sojourn into a Manhattan night spot might help clear your mind.
How disappointed were you that this didn't happen?
Very gutted.
This could have been a whole
that
episode.
A lot more.
I could have done a 5-part episode of Hank McCoy and Meg Griffin out on the town.
I certainly would have preferred it over the remaining moments of this episode. Professor's on the hospital roof and he gets a mind probe and he sees a big crystal in an alien spaceship person thing. And then he produces a psychic projection of his evil self. And I hate that character. It cuts to Logan. He's on the train. He sees Mariko, but it's the Prof. And then we get cameos of Sabretooth and Deadpool. And the Prof blasts Meg out of a train. You're an animal. Gives him a real serve, and Meg nearly gets hit by a train.
The X-Men love a train fight. Really well known for their train fights and all aspects, movies, TV. They love it.
Get on the trains, have a scrap. And then it cuts to Gambit and Jubilee in line to see a show or a movie or something. And Gambit starts hitting on some bird. And Jubilee's like, hey, you're going to take me to see this. This show ain't going to last all night, petite. But I still be going.
Oh, Gambit.
He can't
And
turn
then
it
the
off at any point. He's meant to be looking after Jubilee and taking.
I thought he was with
to the
Rogue.
show.
I don't think they're official.
He's
Oh.
just
Certainly,
continuously making plays.
certainly not exclusive.
Oh.
I don't know. I quite like Gumbo.
Oh, don't be racist,
Pro-
man.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Can we edit that part out?
Professor turns up and blasts Jubilee and Gambit, and it's just blaring on about how they suck. And Storm gets summoned, and then smelling powers.
I know he ain't real because I can't smell him.
Oh, hashtag smell powers.
No, you missed.
Let mist,
Yeah,
let mist cover your retreat.
That was great. I got that down.
Come on, let's get lost in the fog. And then he attacks Scott in the hospital, and Jean uses Phoenix powers to remove him. Something's wrong. His mind's out of control. We get a shot of Eric the Red watching.
Eric.
Xavier is the key.
You're giving the company to Eric? Anyway.
Professor giving over. So Professor's fixed because of the Phoenix. He gives over leadership to Psyche while he goes to Muir Island for psychiatric help. And he meets Banshee, Moira's fiance. And I think Professor's a little bit chafed to see this.
You glassed over one part of more evil Xavier is like, do you reckon part of his evil sort of talk was a little bit what he thought?
Oh,
Like
I think that gets said, I think
he calls One Eye incompetent or an incompetent fool. And it's like, I wonder if he actually thinks that.
I think he says when he regains himself, he's like, my deepest, darkest parts of me. So I think it's what he's saying is legit.
Yeah. I started liking Professor X a little bit after he said that One Eye was
this is a Professor X I can get behind.
Yeah. Slightly more evil Professor X.
He still gives leadership to Psyche, so fuck you guys.
Muir Island isn't Bad Guy Bar around there? Isn't Bad Guy?
Bad guy bar. Maybe Eric the Red should have popped in there.
Pyro's on his fifth fire whiskey.
Banshee is always one of my favourite characters in X-Men lore because he's an Irishman named Sean. We get another mind spasm with the alien, and then Lilandra is in his room from the Shi'ar, and they have some M-Cran crystal chat.
Boy, this is.
And Ken wants it as a weapon, and then we get images of worlds being destroyed. Lilandra stole the crystal. After Lilandra and Professor X discuss being in love, guess who's back, baby? Fresh from a few pints at Bad Guy Bar. It's the Juggernaut, bitch. The name's Juggernaut, dear brother.
Norman, the great white man eating sharks back.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the episode. And then part 3, Cry of the Banshee. And off the bat, can I say the Cry of the Banshee is on a par with Rogue's screeching for ear-piercing pain.
Oh, you missed it. There's been a lot of screaming in the last Professor X screams at some point on Muir Island. I think he's he's having some
mind probes and
my wife Phil was in the kitchen as I was watching that, and she was like, "What the hell are you watching? That sounds awful." If Eleanor, our daughter, ever grows up and watches cartoons like that, I will be devastated. I thought that was quite good.
No.
So Cry of the Banshee. Moira's Prof's only friend. We get that little dialogue. And then when Juggernaut's beating up on Professor X, he says, "This is more fun than bumper cars." Throwing around the floaty chair.
He makes some sort of reference to being spanked like he kind of wanted to be.
Yeah.
I didn't even know he was X's half brother.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't come up last time Juggernaut was there, right?
Step
like
brothers? Yeah, I feel like we did. They're step brothers.
Oh, step brothers.
It's in the flashback. It's like Professor X's mum Professor X's dad and Juggernaut's dad were like mates or whatever, and then Professor X's dad died, and then Juggernaut's old man moved in on Professor X's old lady.
Shit, what episode was this in?
The Juggernaut one.
All right, we have to rewatch that one.
Nah, it's all right. I've given you the gist of it. And then we get our first. We get our first look at poorly named villain Black Tom Cassidy, a white Irishman.
Hold on. We're glossing over something here. So X gets thrown out the window.
Yeah.
And I didn't know his name was Banshee.
Yep.
Banshee does that hilarious scream. Yeah! Is that him? Does he have to do that to fly or something?
He's got sonic scream powers, and they can make him fly.
Oh, how annoying would that be?
Yeah. What's interesting about that? He is literally in like issue 7 or 8 or something like that of the X-Men in the 60s.
What a bizarre.
And then, well, I mean, he's a great example of a drawn/written form character being impossible to translate to audio visual media, or audio media, if you have screaming powers.
I think they've done it brilliantly.
Yeah, I thought it was quite good.
Yeah.
He's really cool in the comics because he's like a mind-controlled villain, and then he's like a sometimes ally, and then in the Giant Size X-Men one, which we've talked about a couple of times, he's one of the new recruits, and he's like a bit of an elder statesman. He's like older than most of the team, and a bit of a wise Irish head on the X-Men.
I wonder if any of our 4 listeners could send me what it looks like in the comics when he's screaming.
Yeah. I believe it's just like kind of like what it looks like in this like big circly zeros flying out of his mouth.
Oh, okay. It's not like a speech bubble that says Y-E-E-E-E-A-A.
Oh, no, there is that as well. There is that. Yeah. Listeners, throw it in the slacks.
Good stuff.
So Jugs throws him out the window, and Banshee saves him with his sonic scream flying powers. Moira treating Xavier like an idiot, which is fair. And then it cuts to Jean in the hospital having Phoenix moments. She's in a coma. Rogue feels guilty. Gambit's got his pony out. Meg gives Psyche a good serve. Moira thinks he's having delusions. They get this message from Prof to come and help them or whatever. And Moira's saying, no, don't worry about it. He's just having delusions. And he did say, don't come and help me. But then Psyche says, Wolverine's right. The professor's story needs to be checked out. Cameron goes, I don't believe my ears. And then Black Tom has an awesome sort of Irishy, Gaelic-y theme song when he's in the room. We cut to I liked it as well. And then it cuts to what is known as Cassidy Keep, a castle on another shoreline. Everything's on a shoreline. Eric the Red turns up looking for Lilandra.
Eric.
Juggernaut manhandles Eric, and that's mint. So Eric agrees to pay the ransom. And then the X-Men turn up to Muir Island. Banshee and Meg.
He tries not to pay them, and then Juggernaut just manhandles them. He's like, no, you're paying. And they get $10 million. Great gig.
Mm-hmm. So it's worth pointing out at this point for Sam and our dear listeners, Black Tom Cassidy and Juggernaut are best mates in the comics.
Oh, okay.
And it's like this weird, enduring friendship, despite them being villains and whatnot, and quite often going their separate ways. They're actually always there for each other, and in quite sweet ways. It's quite a nice little friendship. Got a lot of time for it.
Sounds like another spin-off.
Yeah, I'm up for that.
Spyro
Get Black
another
Tom
one.
in the bar.
Black Tom and
Bad Guys Bar.
they can be in they can be in Bad Guy Bar version of Cheers.
Yeah, as
They'll, like, walk
only
in
as a
with the,
duo as well.
yeah.
Guest starring Juggernaut and Black Tom. Yeah, so Banshee and Meg have a few words. It's quite nice. Good to see. Back to the keep. I'm pretty sure he was after $10,000. It's not that big of a ransom or a fee, all things considered. Jugs delivers Lilandra to Eric the Red. Lilandra sends a mind message to the Prof. Wolverine sniffs out Juggernaut with his smelling powers and two others, including a non-human, confirming the Professor's yarns.
His smell powers are really highlighted this season. There's a lot of like just him sniffing, and then it either confirms or denies whatever's happening.
You need
confirming the break-in, like he's like that's got to be a good maybe an hour later. He's still picking up
in the last. I don't know if it's the last episode or I think it's. That's when he goes, I know he ain't real because I can't smell him.
Yeah, that was great. I love that.
Yeah. You should probably read some Wolverine comics, Sam, just for the artwork of his nose scrunching and the sniff out the sides. And then Professor X describes a crest that he saw, and it's the Cassidy family crest, and Banshee knows where they are because it's his keep.
Kind of like, I know where he is. He's at the family batch.
And then Banshee and some other of the X-Men who can fly take them over to Cassidy Keep. Real underestimating or real lack of appreciation in this episode for, I assume Cassidy Keep's an island. So they've gone from Scotland to Ireland because Muir Island's off the coast of Scotland. That's a big fly.
Yeah. And Meg's hating that flight. He's getting carried by Banshee and he's covering his ears.
With a mouth like yours. Oh, yeah, you go.
Everyone's got this one down. Yeah.
With a mouth like yours. Should have just tried sneaking in here with a marching band. That was great.
And she says, if you think that's bad, you should hear me sing. And then we find out that Black Tom and Banshee are brothers. I'm pretty sure in the comics they're cousins, but I'll allow it.
I've got one note here that can, like, we love giving all the main characters a nickname, and our old mate Meg gives Professor X a good one in this. Like just before they fly off. I'm sure it's the only time I've heard him refer to him as Chuck. I think Chuck's that. I think Xavier is definitely Chuck from now on.
I like it.
Chuck's definitely his. He calls him Chuck a lot in the comics because it's like Meg's way of being colloquial with someone who's real formal all the time. You know, like Cyclops would only ever call him the Professor.
Yeah, Meg knows how to break down social barriers.
And then we have a bit of a scrap. And Rogue says, hands off, fat boy. It's a Juggernaut.
Are they trying to save Lilandra at this point?
Yeah. And then
someone asks who they're looking for, and Meg's like, she's from another galaxy. You see a woman you don't know? Rescue her.
You could be pointing someone in the wrong direction there very badly.
What if Black Tom was a bird? So Banshee and Black Tom's powers don't work on each other. So they have to have a fist fight, which is actually how Cyclops and his brother's powers work as well, which is interesting. Brotherly powers not working for some reason.
Does that happen with the McSweeneys as well?
For sure. Just these graphics again, that fist fight, real shiny graphics. And then Eric uses some sort of ice bomb to stop everyone. And then the music starts. And then we cut to space. And somebody is flying in. No spaceship required. Gladiator from the Praetorian Guard. And he arrives. The Emperor comes soon. And Eric the Red is an absolute wreck at this point. Like, the Emperor's coming. Like that scene in Empire Strikes Back. We shall double our efforts. Just absolute panic. And Gladiator absolutely dispatches Juggernaut. And we get he's pretty much Superman at this point.
Yeah, he is blue punk Superman, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah. Eye lasers and freezy breath powers, just the works.
Got it all.
Professor has a mind panic that wakes up Jean, and the Phoenix takes off via space to Cassidy Keep. And then the Phoenix turns up, and we realize that the Phoenix is an even bigger power than Gladiator. So, holy shit.
Yeah, I found that quite weird. They'd like just built up this guy, like, wow, this guy is powerful. Then, like, 20 seconds later, oh no, there's something else that's more powerful already. Oh,
yeah, it feels like that could have been at the start of the next episode. So, like, leave you hanging on how powerful Gladiator is for a minute.
Just enjoy that.
I've just written here that Jean gives him a Phoenix torture back rub.
I'm really confused.
And then, yeah, so Phoenix is the child of the crystal or guardian of it or something or other, and Deken's on his way, and he looks like an awful bloke. Do you need me to explain anything before we continue, Sam?
Lots of things, but I actually don't think it's going to help.
Yeah, it is pretty convoluted.
I think we'll get to the end of it and we can rehash or if we need to. Because I don't really necessarily have questions, just kind of statements, and you can take them or leave them.
Good. Right. So Lilandra has no ship, but Phoenix is. Can take them, and given off vibes that it's not even Jean, it's just the Phoenix.
Is she kind of switching between?
Maybe.
Is it sort of that thing? Because I found that very confusing, and I didn't enjoy the way the Phoenix talked. I feel like she was stepping on Storm's toes.
Yeah, very, very. I don't know, like just giving commands almost, and like monotone. And anyway, Blackbird arrives with the rest of the X-Men. And Cyclops is like, what's going on? And Meg says, she's all right, Psych. Best I can tell. The Phoenix asks Scott to prepare the others to prepare for the battle to save the galaxy. Billion star systems or something or other. So it's time to go. We get a nice couple of cameos of people across the world. We see Captain Britain. We see the Hellfire Club, including Emma Frost, getting a little bit of a mind probe of what's going on, which will actually be important later. And surely you fizzed, Pat, for that little Doctor Strange moment in the Sanctum Sanctorum.
I think something happened in it. I missed it. I missed all those.
Did you actually watch the episodes, Pat?
100%.
Clearly not 100%. Sounds like about 80% of the episodes.
I had a couple of issues with this restarting.
I can't believe you missed Strange. He's your fave.
Yeah, I'm going to go back and watch that.
It's literally like 2 seconds of Strange, but it's worth it. And so Jean leaves Banshee, Moira, Professor, Jubilee, and Storm behind. I feel like, why would you leave Storm behind?
I know. She's
one of your most powered team members. And flies them all to a random spaceship with the M-Kran crystal. And Rogue's pretty impressed by it. You like it, Shi'ar? I'll get you one for Christmas. Phoenix senses another ship, and they all get taken out really easily, which is weird because the Phoenix just kicked Gladiator's ass. It seems to be like when she uses her powers heaps, she has to go through a little bit of a rebooting phase.
Yeah, a bit like Rogue.
And we meet Corsair and the Starjammers.
They're mint.
And they are after the crystal as well. And Pat, you know I'm excited. You know I fizz for a bit of Corsair.
It's great stuff.
Who's Corsair?
He's the leader of the Starjammers. The space pirate with the great mo.
Oh, yeah.
And the headband.
And he ends up like befriending them in the end.
Yeah.
He's like, at the end, he's like, I loved working with you.
Major Christopher Summers.
You
How many of
immediately
these?
like him. Even when he like comes on as a bad guy, you like him. He's so good.
Yeah, he is real cool.
How many of these characters are mutants?
The Starjammers?
Yeah.
None. They're aliens. Except for Corsair, who's a human.
So who's the gremlin-looking one? What's he, an alien?
Chode.
Chode.
What? Lizard lips.
Yeah, Chode's an alien.
Okay, I'm real confused. Between.
So the Starjammers is just a bunch of aliens. The only mutants in these episodes are the X-Men. Everyone else is an alien.
All right, that's good to know.
And therefore not important, really, except for the main ones, which are Corsair, D'Ken, Lilandra, and maybe Gladiator.
All right, cool.
So there's a bit of a scrap with the Starjammers, and Hepzibah literally like meows like a cat during a fight.
That was classic.
That weirded me out, eh? That's one for the furry fans. And Jean does a little mind probe and stops Cyclops from taking out Corsair because Corsair is Cyclops' father.
What?
Yeah. She says that really like weirdly, like I'm pretty sure he's in earshot still when she says it, but she's like, I can't tell him, and it just doesn't make any sense why she can't tell him.
Maybe she wants it to unfold naturally, or she just, But yeah, she's good for not telling that because
at this point, neither of them know that one another are father and son. So if she leaves it, how's she know it's going to come up?
So at this point in time, Jean knows that Cable is their son and hasn't told Scott, and Corsair is his father and hasn't told him that either.
So sorry.
Secrets.
Do we see Jean finding this out?
Yeah, because when she mind probes, and she gets this really brief flash of a plane crash and two boys falling out with parachutes, and that's Scott and Alex Summers, Corsair's sons.
There's a bit, and I can't remember whether it's your mate Corsair. I can't remember who says it to Cyclops, who says, "Do you have any children?" And then there's like a pause, and Cyclops is like, "No," and I put except Cable.
Yeah, but he doesn't know yet.
No, so I thought that was really good by the writers.
Yeah, and what's also really good is they don't know that they're actually having a father-son conversation.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Corsair is what all it says to me is that with Corsair's attitude, if he'd been stuck around, he didn't stuck around because he got captured by aliens and taken into space and never returned to Earth because he thought his sons had died. But if he'd been able to raise Cyclops, he'd be a lot more swashbuckling and a lot less of a nerd that Professor X turned him into. Right, so where are we? The Starjammers get away. They use a stun blast and get it set to human. And the Starjammers are like, "We can't do that, Corsair." He's like, "Don't worry, just do it." So telling us that Corsair is a human. He's from Earth. Because it knocks him out as well. And they take Cyclops with them as a weapon. So then it cuts to Gladiator and Eric the Red reporting to D'Ken. And D'Ken is like, "The Phoenix is only a legend." And I was like, this is the first time we see all of Ken. He's like really bug-like in his costume. He's got like fly wings and he's all over the shop. Of course, and then it cuts to Corsair and Cyclops having chats. And Corsair wants Cyclops to end Ken for killing his wife. And they have this sort of chat about, wouldn't you do it for, the woman you loved? And Cyclops is like, I won't take a man's life. It's like, you would for Jean. We know it. You're always moaning and whining about her. And then it cuts back to wherever the X-Men are. And I just really enjoy Meg pacing around, getting bent up, not being able to do anything.
Mm.
And Gambit's just flicking cards into an empty space helmet. And then it turns out Corsair's on a bit of a suicide mission. And more chats between him and Scott. And he says, after he says, do you have any children or whatever, he says, my oldest boy, he had his mother's eyes. And that's when I started tearing up. Talking about Cyclops' eyes.
Eye.
Yeah, one eye.
Cyclops' eye.
Just means if he didn't have that blasted visor on, maybe Corsair would know it's his son. Anyway, the Phoenix appears just as the Imperial Guards are about to take out Scotty and Corsair, and random non-theme song battle music ensues. Rogue, and then the big battle happens. Fight. And then they're escaping. And Rogue, Beast is trying to hold a door open from closing, and then Meg lends a hand, and then Rogue just comes and does it easy peasy. I quite like that moment.
That's great.
And then they get to the bridge of the spaceship, and Ken has the crystal and is unlocking its power, and he kind of just becomes a big stony man. And then we get to Phoenix 5, Child of Light.
I had one note I just liked was when Cyclops was in all those restraints and stuff with the Starjammers. They look hard out like the restraints on the Captain Marvel movie with that when Carol Danvers is locked up. It's got those big fist things.
Oh yeah, to stop the blasty hands.
That looks familiar.
More plagiarism.
By heaps of movies. It's great stuff.
Sam's sitting there going, "What's a Captain Marvel movie?"
Nearly.
So Captain Marvel would be a great movie for Eleanor, mate. Nice to see a powerful female superhero leading, kicking ass. Anyway, so Ken's becoming indestructible. He takes out the X-Men easily, and then he sort of goes inside the crystal. He is one with the crystal.
You fools! Your foolishness amuses me. Terrible line.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Ken, but he's not the main thing here either. I don't think. I think it's more about the Phoenix. Anyway, nobody can do anything but the Phoenix. Just a big fiery bird flying through space. Corsair,
You were saying before.
Corsair and the X-Men end up back on the Starjammer. Jean ends up getting sucked into the crystal as well. And then everything's getting sucked into the crystal, and there are environmental disturbances all over Earth. The sun is fading away. A black hole like
a bunch of weird shit that's just dragging on. It's quite boring, but it heats up at the end of the episode.
I thought the sun was turning into an eye.
Did look like that.
But just for a moment, I was like, ugh.
It's Jubilee, Professor X, and Moira, back on comfy Earth. And Professor X is just like, it must be the Mcron crystal. It's like, why must it be the Mcron crystal, Professor X? How does he know?
I don't know. He's telepathically linked to his new missus, I guess.
Yeah, that's right. He has some hookups with her, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, that's at the end. That's great.
Yeah. So there's all stuff going on. Hang on, Shi'ar. If this be our last ride, We take it together.
He thinks they're about to die. He's still trying to have a crack.
Yeah. They all get sucked inside the crystal. And inside the crystal, Dekin is like God. He could just do whatever he wants. He's melting boulders. He's controlling the land. And then you get a shot of Phoenix, and it just looks like she's actually melted. It's very disturbing. And not moving. Lilandra pleads with Dekin, but he's just laughing maniacally. He wastes Gladiator.
He wants to destroy the galaxy here.
Yeah, or suck it all into his new galaxy or something. I don't know.
He said, I want to destroy the galaxy. Like, what has happened to Dekin that he wants to destroy the entire galaxy?
He's been corrupted by the crystal, Sam.
Power corrupts.
And absolute power corrupts absolutely.
I don't know about that.
That's definitely a thing.
Okay.
Where are we up to? Lilandra pleads with Dekin. Oh, yeah, whatever. He's all over Gladiator. Then we get some Earth cameos. We get
waking up on top of a Havaro.
If this is death,
it's not so bad, huh?
Yeah.
Oh no,
she's suitably unimpressed.
Oh yeah, she's not having it.
Then we get some Earth cameos. Sunfire. We get Spider-Man's hand throwing out a little thwip, and War Machine and Alpha Flight. Everyone's struggling, and then it's back on the thing, and Dekin's still indestructible. And then the Phoenix rises, gets everyone out of the crystal, and Dekin seems a bit rattled by the Phoenix. And the Phoenix says Jean was chosen for her empathetic abilities, which is odd. And then I've just written a note saying, fuck off, Meg.
Hey.
He's just trying to get in with Jean at the last minute there. And she gives him a little peck on the cheek, sends him away. And then she does a weird flying, fiery, pashy thing with Scott, which is also weird. But obviously I'm here for it. And then Jean uses all the X-Men's characteristics to give her strength, which is weird, but I thought the imagery of all the X-Men was quite cool.
It was very cool, I thought.
Yeah, Weller was getting very emotional watching this scene about an hour ago. And then we're back on Muir Island. And the X-Men have won, Professor X exclaims. At what cost? The Phoenix goes to take the crystal into the heart of the sun, where she and the crystal will have to remain to ensure it doesn't blah, blah, blah. Everyone's crying. Even I'm crying. And then the X-Men are back on Muir Island after Jean's sacrifice. Lilandra wants Professor X to go with her, but he can't until there is peace between mutants and humans. Corsair and Scott have a nice little moment.
X and Lilandra hook up.
Yep. Meg reveals he still carries that photo of Scott and Jean.
Yeah, it's all ripped up, got cum stains on it.
Just to peel it apart.
Professor X gives Cyclops a Phoenix chat about hope never dying and rising from the ashes, and we're done. I'm going to save you, Sam. What do you think, Pat? You like the Phoenix saga?
I liked parts of it. I really liked the parts with Juggernaut and Black Tom Cassidy, and just the fact that that absolutely hopeless prick Eric had to pay off a couple of earthbound bad guys to try and get the job done.
Funny, because I think as a child I preferred the space stuff, but I think it's just because being in space is cool.
Although the Starjammers are cool. Starjammers are really cool.
I love the Starjammers.
Yeah,
Corsairs,
the cat lady meowing was fucking outstanding too.
Hepzibah. All right, Sam, unleash.
Just on the last 7 episodes in particular, we talked to we'll start with some positives. I noticed the theme music creeping in a lot more. Well, probably not a lot more, but in different ways. So it would come in slow, like a different tempo. It would be like a different kind of theme music. It would still be the theme music, but it would be playing in a different way.
Yeah,
which I really, really liked. You did talk about the animations, and I really liked Professor X's face, especially when he turned evil, and it was like the shadows on his face. I just thought it looked really cool. So
When he
those are two
turned
things.
more evil.
What's that?
When he turned
Yeah,
more
more-
evil. Yeah.
Yeah, the
More
evil,
evil
the good.
Chuck.
I would call him the good Professor X, the evil one.
It's giving serves.
It was good going through it with you. Obviously, have a little bit more of a understanding of the Phoenix Saga. I thought it did a poor job of explaining a lot of the plot line. Like that's like this the way that Professor X just like can't explain why they need to go to space. Like, just doesn't foot it for me. I don't know whether, like, I noticed that the comic, there's 8 comics. I feel like they've probably missed out some stuff when turning it into the TV series. I could be wrong.
Yeah, it's fair.
It was confusing adding so many characters. I know they weren't important, but there was like a different bad guy every episode, and as you said, like one guy has about a 20-second reign and then he's gone. And I was confused whether they were aliens or mutants or whatever. Phoenix is badass. Professor X is insufferable and makes no sense the entire time. I think this is where the crystal confused me. Didn't know what the hell was going on with the crystal.
Just the classic MacGuffin, right? Just the big, powerful space thing to have a reason to do stuff.
I think this is probably where I need to say, like, and listening to you, Sean, I'm the complete opposite. Like, I have just this underlying, is preclusion the right word? Where I don't like things to do with space.
Ah.
So, funnily enough, I'm like Meg. I would hate being on a spaceship. Like,
You are Meg.
I think it would be cool, but I think like after 30 minutes, I'd be like, oh my God, get me the fuck off this. I'm a little bit like that with a boat as well and a plane. Like, I don't know. Like, so like, I'm not a big Star Wars fan. I'm not a big Star Trek fan. So I think that's probably part of the reason I didn't really enjoy these episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like, so like in terms of the movies, because the X-Men have got quite a lot to do with space in the comics. They've got a long-standing history with the Shi'ar Empire and going to space. And I thought this does a really good job of showing the X-Men in space and just being like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, how have we ended up in space? Heaps of the comic book fans have always been like, you've made how many X-Men movies? Why won't you take them to space? But I see where you're coming from. Yeah, it's interesting.
One more thing. In like going forward, like I think obviously Jean's going to come back, and obviously there's the Dark Phoenix saga as well. But I'm hoping One Eye becomes like that mate who gets out of a long-term relationship and is suddenly fun again. I hope that's
perfect. Yeah.
I kind of hope that's what happens to him going forward.
I do believe there's an episode where Scott goes night clubbing.
Yeah, I'd love to see him and Meg and Hank go to a bar, bad guy bar.
Surely
Bad guy
Gambit needs to take him under his wing on a bender.
and last point for the people following along at home and who haven't watched X-Men like myself, I've realized to follow the storyline well, I can't watch too many episodes in a row because I don't know why. I think because I watched.
They start merging together a bit.
Oh yeah, no, so I tried to watch the 5 Phoenix Saga ones all together as kind of one episode. And I got to the 4th, and I did 4 in a row, and then watched the 5th one. Really? And by the 4th episode, I was like so confused. But then the 5th episode, I got a lot more out of it. I just couldn't follow along very well by watching so many episodes in a row.
That was a
Do I need to give you the gist of it, or do we not need to bother?
I think you talking through it helped. I mean, I was in my notes. I had him being called Decanter at some point. So I was not paying
can be.
close enough attention, obviously.
Yeah.
Well, I think after that massive slate of not being able to follow anything that was happening, was good time to say we hit up a pretty good like on our socials, with two of the writers of the show giving us a like over our socials, Eric and Julia Leewald. So hopefully they didn't get to the end of this podcast to hear it slated.
No, I didn't not enjoy it. I just like there's other stuff. I don't think it's I don't know if it's well, like, everyone revels in it. But yeah, I just didn't enjoy it as much as other episodes. Like, I like the first two episodes better.
Oh, I think with this watch back through, I was like, I think even one of my notes was like, if Sam's still following at this point, I'll be amazed. Because I was like, I've read heaps of this stuff as well, and I'm like, what? Wait, what are they doing now? Why are they here? Mind you, I obviously didn't miss little bits and pieces.
I think, I don't know whether it's.
I might have been short of 100% of all the viewing on each episode. Especially the last two. I was busy fudging my taxes for my tax jam back.
I think obviously I've read and watched this stuff a lot, so I do know. So I don't even really bother paying attention to like the Shi'ar stuff, because I just sort of know. I'm just watching for the Phoenix stuff, the character moments and stuff like that, because that stuff still gets me, like running through it. There's lots of little moments between characters that I'm like, yeah, this is mint. Like Gambit and Rogue, for good or ill. Scott and Jean and Meg, like all that stuff still goes on. It's just in space. So I'm okay with it. But then I look at it and I'm like, yeah, I mean, I don't know most of the Starjammers' names. I've got no time or care for the Imperial Guard or whatever they're called. I only know Gladiator. Is that Fire one, Pat, that you might have noticed, who I think may or may not have been a Herald of Galactus at one point? I don't know. But like, it's just, yeah. I understand. Unfortunately for you, Sam, the Shi'ar will definitely be back, but definitely in a different context, so it might be better for you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in deep. I'm enjoying it still. Meg is me, basically.
Well, I think for the Dark Phoenix saga, we might try and figure out how to do it all together. So it might be
that would be awesome
as well.
That would be amazing. So next episode, no Mutant Is An Island. You guys aren't going to like that. Obsession, Longshot, and Savage Land, Savage Hearts, Part 1 and 2.
Okay, so I think Disney Plus sends us straight to Savage Land after this.
Yeah, so dear listeners, make sure you check out our viewing order, because this is real hickledy-pickledy Disney Plus stuff. And
Savage Land. You going back to Savage Lands?
Oh, I assume so.
Magneto back?
Mate, look, I can't remember.
No spoilers.
As a child, I didn't revel in the Savage Land. I thought it was a bit weird.
I think I did too, but I really like it now.
Yeah, same. More Kazar.
Yeah.
But as Pat mentioned, we are really blowing up on the socials at the moment. So if you want to follow us, we're pretty much, we're Instagram and Twitter at WIWT90S. Wish it was the 90s. We've also got a Facebook group, but no one's in it, so don't worry about it.
And follow along, even just to see the experience of like a bunch of guys that don't really know how to operate any of those things, trying to give it a crack.
Yeah, the last 2 weeks has been a real eye opener into the world of reels.
Yeah, you've been
and how they work. Yeah,
really well.
But if you like our reels, maybe just follow us as well.
You'll get more.
And and obviously you're here, you've stuck it out this far, you're listening. Rate us, review us if you can. We want to be the greatest podcast in the world, and sitting at about 200 downloads. We've got a bit of work to go. Any other final thoughts before we sign off out of this thing?
No?
Sign us off.
Mission accomplished, buddy.
Let's go home.